I was reading the last few weeks. I borrowed from my son this book from I don't know what you call him, Professor Benjamin Brown. His book on the chazon. I think this is his doctorate. He wrote a very thick book on the chazon, 850 pages. And I wanted to talk. Now, I don't want to be nichshel. First of all, I'm not making a book review over here. I don't want to be nichshel like those people that they saw one thing and they judge according to one thing. Or one incident that happened to them once in a certain place. And they judge the person and the place. And
I think Rabbi Kaplan, I think one of the most famous people that did that, his name was Sherlock Holmes. Continue.
That's different. I'll tell you why. That's what you call simonim. Since he saw one little thing, let's take this little thing and let's go into it further. Let's use this as a simon that we should go check into it further. So he used it as a simon to go further, and he didn't ignore it. But when you're talking about a person or a shita, and you're judging it according to this one little thing, that's different. Because let's say like this, did Sherlock Holmes, when he saw one little detail, did he paskin with it? Did he? It can't, it's impossible. He just used it as a clue to go further. But we are all nichshel in taking this one little detail and judging the person with that or the shita with that. And that's not right. Now, I once had a story with a certain person that I just mentioned a bacher for his daughter for a shidduch. I said the bacher doesn't wear a hat. And I said the bacher learns a lot, but he doesn't wear a hat, so he got very upset. Who says that's important? Who says that's an Indian? What are you making such an issue out of it? So I said gently, I'm not making an issue, I'm using it as a simon. So he kept on and on. But there's a certain sickness that we also see at shchiach, that people go on and on, and you say a certain comment and they don't know. They just keep running ahead. Baruch Hashem, Hashem helped me. He was good to me that he didn't give me this sickness. But that person kept going on and on. So I said, I have a raya from a Gemara. No, I didn't say it to him. I said it to myself. There's a Gemara says in B'Metzia, Chav Zayin Amud Beis. Yeah. The Gemara says, Machlokes, if you could say Eidus on a Shuma or not, a pimple on a person's body, that you could use it to identify the person, whether you found a dead body and you remember this living person had a pimple in a certain place. If you could use that as a simon that it's him. So I said, why don't you say, what a pimple, that's a person, that's the person, that says it's a simon, it's not the person. See, the same thing is over here. Sherlock Holmes used it as a simon. And when I said he didn't wear a hat, I used it as a simon. But I didn't say where this is the person. But there's sometimes that people say that they had a certain experience when they happened to walk into the store, such and that paskins the whole situation. So then I'm trying not to be nichshel in that. And of course, that person, when I said it, he didn't hear, and he just went on. And then, a few years later, I said, maybe a year later, I said to him, I had a riot from a Gemara and Bava Metzia against you. So he said, yeah, what's the riot? I said, too late, you missed. I tried to say it to you then and you weren't able to hear. I'm not saying it over again. What's my purpose? To have a nitzachon? Maybe that's also my purpose. But really, it's like, when I said the thing, then you couldn't listen because you were busy going on and on, ranting and raging about this whole thing that wearing a hat is not the main Yiddishkeit. You didn't hear what I said. Now you're all ready to hear what I said. Too late. I'm not going to say it. If it's not, what I say is not important to you while you're busy going on a, while you're busy talking, then it's not important. So it's not important. So I'm not going to say it now either. That's my attitude, and I think I'm right. And the person, what he should have done, he should have come to me and said, yeah, what is it? Yeah, I looked up the Gemara. I told him of Metziach of Zion on the base. He should have looked it up. Anyway, I'm not judging this book at all. I just want to talk about my feeling after, and I didn't read it, I just skimmed through it because I don't think you have to do more. Now, I want to say like this. My feeling is like this, that let's put it this way. There's chitzonius and there's panimius. And this is something you could say about many books. This doesn't have to do dafka because this book is from Adati Lumi. It has to do with Haredi books also. For example, there was a book on Rab Shlomo Freifeld. I had the same feeling. My feeling is like this, that you have to talk about the shoresh, you have to talk about where it all comes from. Or, I'm not saying you have to talk, but there is such a thing as the shoresh, the source, the root. Where does all this come from? Let's say like this, you have a chazon ish, so you break him up into different parts. What was his opinion on halacha umada? What was his opinion about Musar and democracy? What was his opinion about Parkeo? What was his opinion on the ideology about women? As if there's prakim, there's parts, there's pieces, as if this great person, this great Yid, had different parts, and we have to take each part and talk about it separately. The emes is, it's its own one, it all comes from one place. Koach HaTorah. One shoresh, which is called Koach HaTorah. The Ger Rebbe, Rabbi Yisrael, once went to visit the chazon ish, and he talked to him, and he got to know him. There was a while later that somebody said to the Ger Rebbe that they say on the chazon ish that neshamas come to him for tikkunim. Neshamas come to him and they ask, I want a tikkun, can you do something, can you do me a favor? I mean, those neshamas, of course I believe this, that neshamas came to him. You have to know that these neshamas that came to chazon ish for a tikkun, it was a big schus they must have had, that they were zocher to come to him. Even though they needed a big tikkun, and they were far from getting into Gan Eden, I would say. But not everybody do they let come to a Adam Gadol, to a tzaddik, and ask for a tikkun. Anyway, so the Ger Rebbe, this person said it to the Ger Rebbe. They say that the neshamas come to the chazon ish. The Ger Rebbe said, with the Koach HaTorah, anything can be. Like you don't know what the Koach HaTorah is, how powerful the Torah is. It could be. I mean, you like this person, this Talmud Chacham, this person, this Omo B'Torah, Yogea B'Torah, Yomim V'Layla, he stands in a certain place in that world that they announce on him, this is the Gon and Tzaddik of the door. They're machris in front of him, and they hear it over there, and the shamas that are roaming around empty, they come, so they hear that, and they come to look for a tikkun by him, if they're zochim. Everything could be, so what my feeling was that when you do an academic work about such a great person, sometimes even in the whole 850 pages you can be missing this part, the Kedusha, and I don't mean to use the word Kedusha in the sense the way we're used to using it. Kedusha, I mean to say the Kochos of the Malam in that Teva, because when you write an academic work you can't talk about such things that you can't measure them, and you can't prove them, and you can't research them. But we are Yidden Ma'aminim B'nei Ma'aminim, so we know there's such a thing as a L'malam in Teva. Another thing we know and we believe that there's such a thing as Koach HaTorah. And that's what it's important to know, that all the different sides to the Chazon Ish, which is very well researched in this book. He did an excellent job quoting all the sources that could be, talking to all the people that met the Chazon Ish. But it's like the whole book is like a goof without a neshama. And it's right, and he's right not to put neshama into, because it's an academic work, and there is no neshama over there in that world. That world is a world of books and footnotes and quotes from this one and from that one. But to go touch on the pneumius, on the neshama, that's not part of that world. And all these different things that he talks about the Chazon Ish is like this. Chazon Ish was a person that Minurov was Yogea and Omel B'Torah Yomim V'Layla. And they say that he worked so hard. He's trained himself so much in learning that sometimes he was too weak even to put on his hat to daven mincha. They saw him davening without a hat. He was so weak, they say, sometimes I heard this, I don't know if it's true, that he didn't even have the koch to make a bracha on food. He ate something without a bracha because he was like, mamash, he needed the food to live, but he didn't have the kochas to make a bracha. What do we understand? What it means you need kochas to make a bracha. But yeah, there is such a thing. the such dvekas in Torah, Hamelus Yom V'Layla, Hasmoda Yom V'Layla. And a third thing, if you look at the Sefer Chazon Ish, you see that the whole purpose over there is just to understand the Gemara, to know the Gemara, to know what comes out of the Gemara, to take a halacha out of the Gemara. There's no kavanah, there's no inyan by him to look for big machadish chidushim, to look for saying something. He just wants to know, what does it say? How do we understand what it says? And let's explain what it says. That's why in the Chazon Ish it's short pieces, as opposed to other swarm that have long, long pieces. That's the reason. Because Chazon Ish is trying.
Rabbi Caplan, we're going to take a break now. Thank you.